Ever since the Weeping Angels debuted on our screens in the 2007 episode Blink, I've considered them to be not only one of the best Doctor Who antagonists ever created, but one of the greatest antagonists of all time. But that got me thinking, how does the concept of Weeping Angels so effectively prey on our fundamental fear as human beings? How did Stephen Moffat create the ultimate antithesis to human existence? Just imagine you glimpse an angel, and in the blink of an eye it's gone, consumed by the shadows. You think it exists, that there is something there, but you're not sure. Then again you lay eyes on it. This time you stare for a little longer. Sure, it's moved. Sure, there's something not right about it, but you can't deny that it is just that, a statue. It has to be. It's right before your eyes. But then a moment later it's gone again. This time you can feel its presence, but it's nowhere to be seen. You can only hear the faint murmur of a familiar voice calling out to you, of someone you trust, and the sharp hiss of the very same voice directly behind you, only for you to turn and find the very same angel along with it, as if it's carried by the wind through the darkness. But now, with its face uncovered and demonically glaring at you, and in the blink of an eye your life as you know it is gone, traded to satiate the incessant hunger of some ancient monster. You're thrown aside to the past to mourn the death already gone by. That's the power of the Weeping Angel. On a surface level, it's easy to see why they're so terrifying. They prey on the unknown, on uncertainty, stalking you from the shadows. Facing the Weeping Angel only prolongs your demise. It doesn't sleep, doesn't rest, it simply hunts. A creature as old as time itself, a myth even to the Time Lords, capable of wiping out entire planets in genocide, of savaging entire villages in a blink of an eclipse. A creature capable of imitating the voices of people you trust the most, of luring you in and feeding on the time energy of your unspent potential as you're thrown aside to the past, toying with their victims, snapping the necks of those they no longer need to feed from. But fundamentally, the very existence of the Weeping Angels completely subverts the hero's journey, because archetypically, we overcome our fears by facing them. But when we face a Weeping Angel, all we see is a slab of cold, hard stone. Their ultimate defence mechanism negates the hero's greatest power of all, facing our fears. Facing the Weeping Angel only prolongs the inevitable. Though their power dwindles when starved of time energy, it takes thousands of years to render them powerless. Time we can barely even comprehend as humans, let alone use to defeat them. They took the hero's greatest strength and used it against them. We're powerless to face the Weeping Angels head on, and they know it. Instead they prey on something far more vulnerable, our fear of the unknown. River Song even pondered whether children being afraid of the dark was an evolutionary adaptation to the Weeping Angels, a natural fear of the shadows, because an angel could be lurking beyond them. It's only when they're just out of sight, a speck in the peripheral vision, the faintest figure in the depths of the night. Only when we're at our most vulnerable do we have any chance of defeating an angel. And even then, only a select few people over millions of years have ever lived to tell the tale. It almost breeds a new type of hero, one that can face the darkness, that abyss of unknown potentiality and still keep their faith. But it's not just the hero's journey they render completely obsolete. Evolutionarily speaking, we developed forward-facing eyes to enhance our depth of vision, helping us navigate the treetops in ancient times and adapt as an apex predator on Earth in more recent. But this came at the cost of side-eyed creatures like turtles or lizards, with exceptional field of vision, leaving us vulnerable to attack. This means that during times of intense danger, we're forced to compensate for our lack of spatial awareness by perceiving that anything that emerges from our peripheral vision is threatening. Which naturally means the Weeping Angels literally play on our evolutionary weakness. We perceive them as even more threatening because we never evolved to detect potential predators hunting us. We were always meant to be at the top of the food chain, something the Angels take full advantage of. And that's one reason why we find them so terrifying. They literally counter fundamental aspects of our nature and survival mechanics. Then add the fact that they embody the form of an angel, monuments created to honour the benevolent messengers between us and God. Many consider angels to be protectors, guardians of pure will, but these angels are anything but pure. These ravenous creatures show their true nature moments before they strike, when their fingers turn to sharp claws and their faces demonic. It's almost like they're mocking humanity, as their own guardian angels turn against them. And even if you did suspect there was something off with this angelic statue, who the hell would believe a man who claimed a statue was alive? Stephen Moffat created a creature so horrifying that it psychologically tortures you at every level. The first and most basic is our underlying fear of the dark itself. The very existence of the Weeping Angels means we can never truly feel at ease. There is no real sanctuary from the demon that never sleeps, always lurking just beyond the shadows. Then you have the second layer, one that starts the moment an angel begins to hunt, and a person slowly starts to lose their sanity at the prospect of something following them. That dreaded feeling of eyes being laid upon you that you just can't see. The fear and anxiety begins to flood in as long as the angel plays with its food, until the very last moment it decides to reveal itself as a demonic monster stalking you the final time you lay eyes on the present. It could have easily swooped in and taken you without you even realising, but instead, they make one final grand gesture, from Weeping Angel to demon, knowing full well the moment you blink, life as you know it is gone. And for 99% of the people, there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. Then in the blink of an eye you're transported to a time long forgotten, and left to torment knowing the people you loved will never find closure, that you were merely a plaything for some evil entity. I think Doctor Who actually shines a relatively positive light on their ability to send you back in time, with most people going back to more tranquil, peaceful periods in time, like Kathy Nightingale or Rory and Amy. But imagine if you were sent back thousands, if not tens of thousands of years, to periods of harsh famine and brutal war. The Doctor called the Weeping Angels the nicest assassins in the universe, but in reality, I think they're some of the most twisted monsters to ever exist. Not so much for what they do to you physically, but psychologically. The torment they inflict on your family and friends, who will never know what happened to you. The twisted impersonation of our most holy monuments as angelic figures. The way they toy with their prey, sending those they need energy from back in time to live to death, and snapping the necks of the rest. For me, the weeping angels take their rightful place as one of the most terrifying antagonists ever created. Blink or not, there's no escaping the weeping angels, it's simply a matter of time.